Okay. The world is your underlying energy. All right. Let's see what's underneath here. The high priestess. So in the past, there's perhaps a lot of, a lot of focusing, not necessarily focusing. There's a lot of trusting your intuition here. Like a lot of, relying on the connection you have with spirit. And now this is talking about completing a cycle. The focus is right now a completion of a cycle, but it's a good ending. It's a good completion of a cycle. Okay. It's really rewarding. It's really nice. And some, if it's not looking like a situation that's really nice, it has the reason why this ending comes up is for your highest good. Definitely, all endings do. No, all endings happen, and all beginnings happen for your highest good. Okay, but let's get into it. Right now, your current situation is the Six of Wands, so there's a lot of effort being put up on your part potentially, and you're seeing the results, or other people are recognizing what you're doing. And I feel like, yeah, you feel very successful, very proud of what you've been doing, the effort that you've been putting in, the work that you've been putting out, they're putting yourself out there, and it's getting recognized. And if I feel like it does feel good, right? This is a lot of effort put in here when the Six of Wands comes up, and it's kind of in a way paying off because other people are seeing you blossom, it's seeing you grow, and it's a good feeling to be noticed. Okay. Now, with your desired outcome, you guys have the Page of Swords, which talks about communication in a way, but talking and communicating with somebody or sending a message of truth. This is usually blunt communication, very, very blunt, back and forth, or like a blunt truth needing to be said. Perhaps you want to just speak your truth. Just be absolutely open and honest, right? Just say what you want to say. But the thing that's keeping you potentially from speaking this truth is the Eight of Wands. The Eight of Wands talks about things moving fast. It talks about instant messages, things like that. Perhaps there's not a desire to want to use the internet, but maybe this is moving too fast in some sort of direction, right? Right? Maybe there isn't, there hasn't been, I think there has been progress because of the Six of Wands, obviously. But I feel like there's just, perhaps it's just moving too fast right now. And the reason why the Eight of Wands is coming up is because of the Seven of Cups, which talks about, being kind of, not necessarily confused, but there's a lot of uncertainty, right? Picking from options that you don't really see past the glitz and glamour, right? It's just like there's a lot of great things to kind of go for with the Seven of Cups come up, right? There's a lot of options, a lot of choices that are available, but the thing here is with the Seven of Cups, it's like you don't really know where all of those leads. You don't even know, if you don't know if this is your heart's desire, perhaps things are moving too fast, and because of it moving too fast, you're not sure what you want, or because you don't know what you want, so therefore things are moving too fast. That's pretty much what I'm thinking. It's like it's moving too fast because you don't know exactly if you're wanting to go after any of these options. You're not really sure if this relationship or this connection that you have with someone, or perhaps the person that you're dating, this is something you want to pursue. Or you're unsure of what someone else thinks, or you're unsure of where it could lead. You're unsure of where it can go down, right? And I think that's the thing. I don't think you don't know what you want, because other than that, right? You wouldn't have the Page of Swords be your desired outcome. You wouldn't want that. It would be something else. I feel like it's about going down that road at the end of the day, like making that progress, jumping the gun in a way. It kind of feels impulsive to kind of be like, okay, well, this is something I want to pursue. Let's make it happen. It can be like that. But if this is something you want, and you know what it is that you want, because you have the Queen of Wands here. The Queen of Wands always knows what she wants. And as a matter of fact, you feel very passionate. This is someone that you feel super passionate. The Queen of Wands is so passionate. She knows what she wants. She goes for it. Nothing stops her, right? And I feel like this person brings out this fire out of you. If you guys are, if this person is not a fire sign, this person very well could be a fire sign, right? An Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. But I feel like this person brings out this passionate energy from you. It brings out that ancient ruling or ancient ruling planet Mars that, you know, for a period of time used to rule you guys, right? You used to rule Scorpio. Now it's Pluto, but you know, you still have that passionate fire Mars energy, and it's coming out. It's very apparent. You don't get confused. But it's like, I get this feeling that maybe you're unsure if someone is going to accept you, accept this truth, accept who you truly are, accept what you want, accept what you're saying. But that's not the point, right? It doesn't matter what they think, because as long as you're authentic and true to yourself, you know that, you know, you put the offer on the table, they gotta pick it up, right? They gotta either pick it up or just kind of keep walking. It don't matter. And your advice, because of what I've just, well, because of this situation here, you have the Seven of Swords. So it's not lying. It's not about sneaking and kind of doing anything underhanded. It's about just being honest, right? Taking that leap of faith, trusting your intuition, but most importantly, go with how you feel. Take that risk and go for it. It may not be 100% secure. You may not have 100%, you know, stability and commitment in the connection, but if you make it known, that's the best thing you can do. It can lead to something long term. Completing a cycle, which in this case talks about successfully wrapping things up in a good way, right? Maybe you guys will be soon, for those of you that are dating, will be saying goodbye to your single life. For some of you guys, you may be developing, you know, into a bigger relationship, a relationship with higher commitment. You may even get married. But it all starts from communication. It all starts from being like, you know what? This is what I want. This is what I feel. It doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter how it feels. Because here with your hopes and fears, you have the Two of Pentacles. You know, it talks about, you know, weighing the pros and cons, keeping the balance. Focusing a lot on the pentacles, on the practical portion of everything. But what do you feel? And I feel like you don't want to continue to be distracted. I don't think you want to kind of like, I feel like with the Two of Pentacles there, like there's this desire to kind of pick the pentacles that you want and run with it. Just make it happen, right? Kind of no longer like constantly juggle different things, juggle different situations. You want to just, you want to go for it. The outcome, you have the Seven of Wands, though, which talks about defensiveness. But I don't think this is a bad energy here, because when the Seven of Wands comes up, I do feel like this is standing your ground, standing tall and proud of what you protect. Confident that you'll be able to handle whatever comes your way. You have the advantage over over everything, right? And I feel like there's something here regarding your relationship where you may want to just say something, and you know what? It's fine, because you got your back. It doesn't change how you feel. It shouldn't, right? Especially if this is regarding love. If this is a situation, a difficult situation in your love life, hell yes, it shouldn't matter at all. Because it needed to be addressed. You don't know how I think the thing is like, you don't want to move too fast, because you don't know where it can go. You don't know where it's going to lead. You don't know where that step will take you. But that's the beauty of it. You can make it out to be whatever, because there's no definite future. There's no definite, this is going to happen or this is going to happen. It's okay. Let's go ahead and see what we got going on with your Wisdom of the Oracle card for this week as well. See what's going on with that. Whoa, you have Observer, which talks about looking at a situation, you know, from all sides, all angles, you know, not necessarily making the fast step, right? You know, sometimes it's just probably really good to just look at things from a different, you know, look at things from afar, or wait on something. Right? And that's what it talks about here with the Seven of Pentacles, Seven of Cups rather. Right? This talks about looking at something a little bit deeper, looking at it past the surface. Now, what I was getting here from this reading was that perhaps there's a situation in which there's something that you may have wanted or something that you know that you want, but you're not sure of what that looks like. The Seven of Swords talks about taking a risk, and I didn't get any kind of vibe saying to avoid a situation. So, like, as a matter of fact, when it comes to being your advice, it's like taking that risk, going for it. You know what I mean? Doing something that's a little bit risky. And the Observer card is like, okay, if there's information that you feel like you need to gather first, go ahead and do that. But at the same time, don't get caught up with this Observer energy and just kind of like always like, well, let me take a look at it first. Let me take a look at it first. Because that's what the Two of Pentacles is doing. This is looking at the Pentacles and going, well, what about this option? But well, what about that option? What about this? If you can't get stuck in that energy, you can't get in a situation where you're constantly balancing these options out and just oscillating them, and you're not doing anything. You're not going anywhere. There's no progress being made. As a matter of fact, you kind of get stuck. And it potentially may lose its momentum. Be careful, right, with Observer here. Of course, look at what you need to look at. These two energies can be very sneaky because this is also data information, gaining some information and doing some, this talks about going behind the scenes, right? Being sneaky in itself. This is spying, stalking, and this is, you know, guys, don't stalk anybody here, all right? Okay? Right now it's just being straight up. If you know what you want, do it, right? If you know it, if you have something you're trying to go for, if there's something you need to communicate with somebody that's, you know, either being too aggressive, what have you, right? It's, you know, go ahead and let them know. There's no need to kind of observe extendedly, right? There's some things you want to do. There's some things you want to look at. Take some time to look at it. There's nothing wrong with it. You don't want to get stuck looking at stuff too long, because like I said, if you know what you want already, just go ahead and make it happen. Take that risk and go for it. But as far as these two energies go, this does talk about stalker kind of energy. Seven of Swords and the Page of Swords. Somebody could be stalking you guys, so be careful. All right, either you guys, maybe you guys have somebody that you have an eye on, and you just like, you want to look at them from a distance, but you have some feelings for them. Be careful. Okay, you need to be careful with that energy for yourself in regards to, you know, overdoing it, you know, and you don't want to be weird, right? But at the same time, who cares, right? If this is what you want to do, you want to do it. But at the same time, guys, if this is somebody else's energy I'm picking up for your reading, you guys have to be careful. You don't want anybody stalking you guys. I don't want anybody stalking you guys. So be very careful. And if there is somebody around you that's stalking you, just be mindful. Okay, be very, very careful. All right, let me see what's going on. Wow, okay. Be willing to express love. That's the Page of Swords. I feel like I'll really want to communicate with somebody. You really want to talk to somebody. Just let them know how you feel, what you're thinking. And then I feel like at the same time, right, it's like that thing, that wall, like the unknown. Just trust me, right? Coming from a place of authenticity is the best place. Wow, and you have another card here actually. Holy moly. Oh, well, it came up upside down for some reason. But okay, well, underneath this here, it says, love who you are. You are a divine and wonderful person, deserving of all wonderful things that life has to offer. And it's 100% true. So that's why it's even more of an important thing to go for it. Let's communicate. Let that person know. Don't observe, right? I mean, no, observe within reason, but don't let this sit in there and just kind of bottle it up, because the Queen of Wands, she would have gone in already and said something. That you've been already doing the, you know, putting yourself out there, being recognized for the work that you've been doing, communicating with people, connecting with people. You've been doing a really amazing job. Right now, this is the big one, right? But it's like it's a page. It's not like super serious, but it is serious. You know what I mean? And it can be based off of how someone has been treating you, right? You want to communicate this.